What is the capitalization of assets? I'll talk about that in this video. Hi, my name is Katherine. I'm your accounting tutor, and I help accounting majors through graduation and beyond. Capitalization is what we say when we mean to add something to the balance sheet on the asset side instead of expensing it. This is often done with big things like buildings, property, plant, and equipment, machinery, those kinds of things. The general rule is that if something has a benefit of more than 1 year, then you're going to add it as an asset. And if it has a benefit of less than 1 year, it can be expensed as some kind of repair and maintenance expense. The theory behind this is that big things like buildings, equipment, they benefit us for more than 1 year. So if, for example, I go out and let's say I buy a car for my business, and in the year that I bought it, I just report the whole thing as vehicle expense. Well, in that year, my vehicle expense is going to be really high. And then for the next, let's say, 4 additional years, for a total of 5 years, my vehicle expense is going to be zero or maybe close to zero. We still have to do oil changes, replace the tires, replace the windshield wipers, those kinds of things. My vehicle expense would be much, much lower in those years than it really should be, because even though I expensed the whole vehicle in year one, it still benefited me for a total of 5 years. So the expense is too high in year one, and then it's too low for all the following years. The way we get around that is instead of expensing it when we purchase it, we add it to the asset side of the balance sheet as a long-term asset called, in this case, vehicle. Ultimately, those vehicle expenses do get added to the income statement as an expense through the process of depreciation, which we'll talk about in the future. Other than the day you purchase the asset, what other things get capitalized? So on the day you purchase, it's the purchase price that gets added, also any sales tax you pay, any kind of installation costs, or any kind of training or testing that needs to be done before you're able to use it. So if, for example, you buy a piece of machinery and you need to pay a delivery fee, you need to pay the sales tax on it, and then it needs to go through some testing before you're able to use it, and then you have to train your employees before you can actually use it to start providing services to your customers and making that revenue. All of those things would get capitalized, meaning all of those things go in the asset side of the balance sheet. After that, though, maintenance and repairs get expensed. At purchase, the purchase price and other related expenses get capitalized as an asset, and then in the future, repairs and maintenance get expensed. Now, that's easy to say, but life isn't always that smooth, it isn't always that black and white. If, for example, I repaired a broken pipe, you could say, okay, well, that's just a repair expense. But then you could also be thinking to yourself, well, it's going to benefit me for more than 1 year, right? Because I fix it now, it's going to stay fixed for, at least the next couple of years. So shouldn't that be capitalized? And that's kind of part of the gray area of accounting. The general rule is that if it's broken and you fix it, that's a repair. If you improve it in some way, either by increasing the quality of the output, increasing the useful life, increasing the efficiency so you can get higher revenue, anything like that, all of that gets capitalized. So to recap, purchase price and any related expenses required to get it up and running get capitalized. Repairs and maintenance get expensed. Ultimately, the cost of the asset will become an expense through the process of depreciation. As a side note, land actually does not get depreciated. That's just a rule that we have. And so when you buy a building, you're actually not just buying the building, you're buying the building and the land. Well, assuming that you buy the land, which you usually do. And so those have to be separated out into the cost of the building and the cost of the land so that you can depreciate the building, but not the land. That's the basics of capitalization. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye.